We are live on Blast It or Stash It. I got my claws in. Joe sent it to me. A picture on Instagram. I think on Facebook too. Did some cool poses with these little bad boys. I can do sparks this way though. Hold on, give me a second. I'll do some spark right at the camera and I'll burn my camera up.
Right.
There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Joe, for getting these out to me. I was driving my daughter nuts by clawing everything in the house, I've not touched myself with these on yet, Mike. That's what you're going to ask. I'm afraid I might hurt myself. But what are you going to ask, Mike?
Did you ever get your Lois Lane book?
I did get my Lois Lane book, yes. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. You also sent me a couple other books in there, too.
Yeah,
you sent me... Why? Why should I read those?
Because they're good. You didn't get them. I don't think you did.
I'll have to look through and see which ones you got me. I forgot which ones it was. my bad. So thinking of books, so Double S, I got to pack it out to you. You may have gotten it already, or you should be getting it maybe tomorrow if you haven't gotten it today, because it was priority mail package, so that should be headed out your way. Whole bunch of 90s goodness in there.
In the chat, and not to interrupt you, but I'm going to.
No.
Leisure Comics gave us a huge shout out today over on his morning channel, his little morning with Whack Comics there, talking about Blaster Stash It. We definitely appreciate it. I know I enjoy your show, so thank you very much for that.
Is he in the chat right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see the chat tonight, so.
Well, that's why I said Legion of Comics is in the chat, and wonder.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to what you say half the time.
So if you want to say bad stuff about Mike, now is the time to do it, because he can't read it, and we'll just snicker off on the side when you say.
Is that how you snicker?
That's how I snicker, yeah. I don't know about you. How do you snicker?
Kind of figures, kind of, you know.
Very brony of you.
very brony of me? Okay. Oh, yes. So, yes, Double S did get the package for me. I forgot that I drew a dead raccoon on the outside of it for him. So, yes. So this week. That what?
We need to get a sticker made of a dead raccoon face.
Yeah, I didn't take a picture of it before I sent it off. I don't know if Double S still has it. Maybe you could put a picture on the Facebook page. So, yeah, make sure you go check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're actually on TikTok too now. My daughter absolutely hates that I have TikTok, and I put videos up for that.
We have TikTok now?
Do we have to do that?
We have you have to do the shadow challenge, Joe.
What is the shadow challenge?
That's where you dress. You dress in scantily clad, and it's like a red light filter or whatever, and you're like scantily clad dancing. Go check it out. I'm sure.
I'm down with that. I can do
you're down with that. Yeah, I see Mike's beard in the red silhouette. Yeah, my daughter absolutely hates it. Just like, what are you doing on TikTok? I said, I just do comic book stuff on there. So a little old for that, but
well, I guess I gotta get TikTok now.
Yeah, I get the tickety talks.
I actually synced my channel over to Odyssey. It's relatively easy, so I'm on Odyssey now.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's cool. They pay. It's easy to get monetized, but they pay you in Bitcoin, and like you only make like a fraction of a Bitcoin, so it's like really chintzy. But I figured I'd give it a shot.
You have to check that out too. But an update. So my comic store, Rogue City Comics, they had the COVID come through, so they were closed altogether this week. So I wasn't able to get any books. At least they didn't say COVID. They just said they were out sick. So I just assumed it was COVID. But I didn't get any books from them this week. I stopped by another little store that's new. They really didn't have a whole lot either at Neverland Comics. No DC or nothing. So I did not read anything this week. So it's going to be you guys and me chiming in every now and then.
You could have read some older stuff.
I did read a couple other things. Yeah. So I could talk about those, but it's not going to be anything cool and awesome. But I definitely talk about those.
There's a lot of things that came out this week that wasn't cool or awesome either.
Yeah, it was a pretty small kind of week. Isn't the fifth week of the month too? So it's kind of usually a lighter week.
Dump. Yeah.
And the other fortunate thing too is like we all didn't get to see Godzilla versus Kong. Mike had problems with it. You want to talk about that? You tried to watch that 'cause we know
Yeah,
you're a big Godzilla fan.
big, huge kaiju movie fan. Godzilla, King Kong. I prefer Godzilla. Team Godzilla. Woohoo! But I got it only about a half hour in because we tried to watch it twice. Streaming it at home, and every couple minutes it pause, refresh, and do all its crap, and I can't take that for too long, and so I gather that everybody's trying to stream it, and it was just overload on the max. So I have been watching the John Wayne Gacy thing on Peacock, which is pretty good. And I stopped watching Sabrina because no, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And I started back watching The Office again, so because I left off it. You don't like The Office?
No, I'm just saying we should do that awkward stare thing he always does in the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was having a little bit of issues with Godzilla versus Kong. Not as bad as you. So it was like every couple minutes it would stop for a few seconds and load, but it wasn't through the whole movie either. But it was okay. I'm not a big fan of the kaijus and stuff like that. I can't stand the concept of, hey, there's a great big monster destroying our town or our city. Let's get another big monster to help destroy the town and city and kill millions more people. And that whole thing just drives me nuts.
Have you don't fight fire with fire?
Not when it comes to destroying the whole freaking metropolis. No.
Superman does it all the time. We're okay with it.
That's different. He's a little guy,
Apparently, you're very.
But the one part I thought was very funny was when Kong did the whole Martin Riggs thing. I don't know if you saw that part. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but think of Lethal Weapon later on as you're watching the movie toward the end of the fight scene. Have you seen all Lethal Weapon movies, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. So when he does it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I thought it was funny as hell, and I called it. He did the Martin Riggs. So I did watch.
I have a few ideas going through my head right now.
Yeah, it could be the nude scene walking through the trailer. Who knows? I don't know. Never mind. So I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3, which is good. It was really good. I thought it was a really good episode. The momentum's picking up. We got Baron Zemo in the picture again, and he dons his iconic mask, which I thought was awesome. Really good stuff. I've been watching Walking Dead, but that is getting horrible. Absolutely horrible. I don't even know why I pay to watch it anymore. I did see the new Suicide Squad trailer. I'm kind of like, hit or miss.
It's supposed to be ridiculous. It's going to be awesome.
King Shark, man. Just a couple scenes with King Shark, man, had me at a full erection.
Starro.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And Starro at the end, yeah.
Got a freaking
kaiju. What was there something else I thought I was watching?
We have
too.
A couple of people in the room real quick. We
do have a couple more.
Stopping in. Always good to see you, boss. We also got the uncanny Kyle Walker.
Probably the coolest name. I can't see
Kyle Walker. No, that's okay. You don't want to see it.
Waka Waka. Everybody's agreeing with the Zemo thing. Even some people are like, Walking Dead is boring. Yeah, I could see that as well. Everybody's saying hi to each other, just like a bunch of old friends, sitting back, having a couple of beers, talking about nonsense that makes our wives crazy.
and Midwest Scotsman says, Dave lost me with, I'm not a fan of kaiju. Fuck Marvel. Fuck Dave. So, yep, that's not. What about you, Joe? What have you been watching? I know you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes, it's right up my alley. It's like a cross between Lethal Weapon and a really cool spy movie, right? Sometimes you forget that it's a comic book movie because it's just so good, right? And I'm really enjoying that. And the big twist, Baron Zemo's got a kind of murdered the king, and some of the people have a problem with that from Wakanda. So now that's getting thrown in. I thought that was a really smart choice to do. It definitely throws you off balance. That was super cool.
What's her name's in this one too?
Agent Carter.
Yeah, and she's doing super secret squirrel stuff too. We find out. Right?
Yeah,
There's a little bit of a twist there too. So that was super cool. Let's see, what else have we been watching? I've been watching this weird show, and I don't know if you've seen this. Please tell us in the chat. It's not a new show, but sometimes late at night my eyes hurt, so I don't read. So that's usually when I try to catch up on like oddball shows. I've been watching this thing on Amazon called Plebes. It's a comedy. It's a British comedy, and it takes place during like Roman times, and it's kind of like, kids. I say kids, 20-year-old something, young professionals, and men do. This goes on during like 25 BC, right? And it's kind of they talk modern, of course, but they kind of have to deal with the whole thing of Rome and everything going on. And it's just freaking hilarious. I don't know why I like it. It's not something I would normally watch, but I've just been absolute stitches over this thing. Like I've stayed awake till like 2:00 in the morning watching this show, and it's kind of like Office. Not every joke hits in The Office. It's a good program. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes if you watch them back to back, you're like, oh, it's the same thing over and over again, right? This kind of does that too, but it takes place in Rome, and it's just hilarious. I don't know
why. Double S was saying about the new episode of Invincible. I'm not sure. It's episode 4 drop. I've seen 1 through 3. Yes?
I did. I haven't seen
Invincible. Show of the year. Comic book TV show of the year. Now
that's right. You weren't here last week when we were talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't here. Yeah,
I
was going through some shit. I was in work sucked. I got home late. I was in a lot of pain. The usual bullshit story.
Yeah, we know.
We
know.
I read Invincible, the one that came out not too recently, the Amazon one. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the one that like the free comic book day one that came out?
Yeah, and it followed the book pretty close, and I was impressed. Yeah. That second episode, god damn.
Yeah, it definitely it has a lot of good acting. We were talking about that last week too. A lot of good actors in there voice acting those characters. A lot of people from Walking Dead too that are in there.
It's like they pulled everybody from the red carpet. Like they're all like accomplished actors.
Yeah, brings all his friends.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Okay, let's. We talked about this for about 15 minutes now. We do have some other people in the chat. Midwest Scotsman and Shared can go beast on him if you wanted to. I know we talked about the duplicate in our chat. I don't want to go into that here. Mike's like, what? What are you talking about? We're not going to go down there. Let's jump into the comics this week. Mike, you want to start us out since we missed you last week?
Oh, do I have to?
Yeah. We got 12 people watching. How many likes we got? Make sure it's hopefully those likes are matching what we have people watching. So if you haven't given a thumbs up, give us a thumbs up, please.
So I'm going to talk about Silk number 1. But I just wanted to show this cover of X-Men 19, the Emma Frost Bartel variant.
Oh wow, that's that. Women or
Women's
Pride
Month, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I showed you that. I didn't read that, but I got the Silk one too.
Okay.
So Silk. Number 1, I read at the beginning, she's taking out some purse thieves. Is that what they're stealing in the shop? Purses, I guess. Then she starts working for J. Jonah Jameson and his new threats and menaces shit. The same thing Peter Parker's working for right now in his new webcam suit or whatever. I love Silk. I love the character. I love her costume. I think it's badass. Well, but someone, for the love of God, please write a good Silk story. Because this was plain fucking garbage. This is a blast. The
Mike,
art sucks.
I'm kind of surprised, sir.
And I don't want Silk to be like a detective. I want her fucking webbing people up by the neck and shit. And I don't know. Silk would make a better bad guy. But anyway.
What about you, Joe? I know you read Silk.
Yes, I did. Beautiful cover. Horrible story. It's surprising for me because I generally like a good mystery detective type story. I like that kind of stuff. But I don't know. This just hits on every level. And I don't know what it is about writers today. This particular writer, Ms. Goo, which I just think is absolutely hilarious, seeing as these spider people shoot goo out of their hands. Their name's Goo. Anyway. Yeah, also, again, like I was saying, there's something, I don't know, and I've talked about this before, but particular writers feel like they have to repeat the same thing.
Oh my God.
To us. How many times in like every other page, it's, I was in a bunker for 10 years. And it wasn't, the context didn't make sense for it to be like, ironic or satirical in any way. It was like a piece of information that was given out. And I'm like, after twice, at the beginning and then at the end, yeah, I would have totally gotten that. But I counted at least 7 where we were reminded that she was in a bunker. And it's like, okay, so she's socially awkward, like every other city out there. He's coughing nonstop and eats out all the time. Like, I didn't get that. And the villains just weren't any good either. The villains were just predictable.
Were the villains in this?
Yeah, the guys that were going to beat up Jameson, right?
I said, there were villains in this?
Yeah, I don't like it when we have superheroes that have superpowers, like legit superpowers, not like enhanced strength, because that doesn't mean anything. It just means you're stronger than 5 guys at once, right? But when you can actually like sense things and shoot webs and you're super acrobatic and no ninja chopping skills and all that other stuff, like you're 10 steps above everybody else, but you're going to fight street level villains. It's kind of boring. Like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want her being a freaking detective,
yeah,
looking for clues and shit. I want her fucking shit up like a ninja.
She's Lois Lane / a bodyguard. That's who you got right now. Well, at the end of this story, she turned into a bodyguard. But yeah, so this is a blast for me. But I'll pick up issue 2.
They keep having good covers like this, so I'll keep getting them. But
I could care less about the covers. I just need something to make fun of every week. I've lived in Korea for 2 years. I can't wait until they have to tell us, especially with everything with the Asian thing right now. I can't wait till we get some virtue signaling bullshit and I start telling people what Korean people are like, because they're actually very cool and they hate other Asians. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Dave, what did you think about Silk?
I did not read Silk. I wasn't even on my pull list, so.
Well,
but
save yourself $4, and
I will. I'm not even going to pick it up. So Legion says, please tell me some of you guys are picking up Beta Ray Bill. I did have it on my pull list. I don't have it with me. Midwest said, I hope Silk takes off because I have her first appearance signed by Ramos. Double S said, purse thieves, like the purse thief in that scene from Mrs. Doubtfire. And he said, my instinct told me not to pick up Silk #1. Thankfully, I didn't. Almost did. But I will talk about a book that I have been reading. I have not read it. It's a award-winning book, and it's been out for, oh my goodness, probably almost 25, 30 years, and I never have read it. And it's by Art Spiegelman. That's Mouse. I ended up picking this up on eBay. And so I got 1 and 2. They're kind of rough copies, but I wanted to read it because I've heard so many good things about it. I'm only about halfway through the first book, but it's kind of a cool take with the whole mice being the Jews and the cats being the Nazis, and I think where the pigs even being the police or something like that. So it's really a farm animal. Is it kind of take on it? But so I'm really digging that. So I'm reading these in my off time away from comics. So those are my books I'm picking up. So anybody else read Mouse? I don't know if anybody on the panel has or anybody in the chat. What do you think of it? What about you, Joe? What do you think of Mouse?
I enjoyed it. I don't. You never read it, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But
the Germans lose. I know that.
Yeah, you need to read the book.
Well,
I mean,
Hell Hydra.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and talk about Beta Ray Bill. So I was excited about this. Believe it or not, I was not up to speed with knockoff Thor. Like even when he was a thing in the 80s and early 90s, I was like, I don't want to read another knockoff Thor story. Like, just give me the heroes, right? That was me. Now, of course, obviously, I wish I did. So in this one, and surprisingly, it's still mostly really about Thor. It's not really about Beta Ray in here. We're seeing the aftermath. We see this with Thor's own story too, where Thor's existence is an inconvenience to everybody else, right? Especially in this one. He had to break Stormbreaker, right? Thor took Stormbreaker, broke it, it's gone. So now Beta Ray Bill can't be his handsome, flat-faced self. He's got to say horse-faced devil man forever, right? That sucks. And he's tired of being. You can tell that the depression of being a beta male. If you don't know, everybody knows what an alpha male is. You've heard that term before. It came from a bullshit psychological study that has been denounced 1,000 times now. But when the book originally came out, it actually lists men in different alphabetical orders, right? And beta male was a thing, and generally it's the right-hand man of the alpha male, right? If you ever seen alpha men in a group, his main posse, if you will, those would be the beta males in it. And then, of course, the delta male and zeta males are the ones that generally outskirts. So anyway.
What is Dave?
Just thought that was interesting. So Beta Ray Bill's tired of being a beta. And it's starting to affect him and depress him. So now he's got to roll. I liked how they made his ship kind of remind me of Flight of the Navigator. Kind of reminded me of that. And then in the background, the Peter Pan movie that was playing, Rufio, yeah, that was playing in the background. I thought that was really cool. So I'm interested in this. And not because of the comic book. I'm just curious what they'll do with the character at this point. Like, at some point, will he just blow up and explode? I hope so.
What about you, Mike? What'd you think of Beta Ray Bill?
All the poor horse-faced guy wants to do is have sex with Lady Sif. That's all he does. All he wants. But he can't because he's ugly and he needs to be beautiful. So I guess that's going to be the... No, I really enjoyed this. Fing Fang Foom in it, and he's nullified. So I guess this is a King in Black tie-in. What did he say? I love the taste of horse meat or something. Where is it? I love horse meat. Whoop, right there. Yeah, this is pretty good. I didn't like the art at first, but it kind of grew on me. Yeah, I'm going to continue to pick this up. Why not?
Does he become Alpha Ray Bill? No? Fingers crossed?
He needs to get a piece of. He needs to get a piece of Lady Sif.
That's right.
He needs to. That's the whole focus of the book. All 5 issues.
Is he like a Pepe Le Pew? Is he chasing after her all the time or something? Or?
No, she was about to throw the sloppy down on him.
Yeah.
She wanted that whap tap.
She wanted the horse meat.
Yeah, only other thing that I read this week, I got this big lot on eBay, and it's actually lot. It was a lot in my childhood, a lot, especially middle school, maybe early high school, but it was definitely a part of my life, and that's Mad Magazine. I bought a whole bunch of these, and I was reading through a couple of these. Of course, it's that classic Mad. I never have been a fan of the movies spoofs. What was that, Mike?
I was gonna. How old of issues?
This is March of '76.
Okay.
There's 80. I think I have one. It's like 7. There's a 71.
Nice.
I have some older ones at home already in my collection. But I mean, these are almost. I mean, if you look at pop culture, those are almost outside of our spectrum. Like, the 76, usually like the 84 to 90, that's usually about our spectrum of when we were reading it a lot. But definitely, I mean, it's still, if you tried reading Mad Magazine now, I don't know if you guys have read a Mad Magazine in quite some time. They're definitely not the same. They're not the same sense of humor. It's not as satirical, I don't think, as those
Spy
are.
versus Spy.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, I love Mad Magazine. I had a whole bunch of them when I was in middle school. I had some older ones too. I had some from the late 70s in my collection when I was younger. But yeah, definitely trying to fill that run in too, just because it's just awesome nostalgia for sure.
They actually have Alfred E. Newman Funko Pop coming out.
Oh, do they really? Oh, I might have to get that for sure.
Real quick in the chat, we got Double S asking if we were talking about North or South Korea when we talked about Koreans. Yes.
All of it.
The Germans lose. That's always funny. Let's see here. Legion says, I care less about Beta Ray Bill, but absolutely trust Daniel Warren Johnson. And everything he's doing is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he did an awesome job. I guess he does the art too.
Yeah, he's kind of dual hitting this, which makes sense. Compliance. Oh yeah, that from the comment. Okay, Beta Ray Bill was an interesting read for me. We'll be picking up issue 2. He liked the Hook, and I think I said Peter Pan, but I meant Hook. The Rufio scenes as well. Cobra Flaps engaged.
Yeah, Cobra Flaps, baby.
Yeah,
I forgot about that already.
A Cobra Flaps t-shirt.
She wanted a Stormbreaker. So yeah, thanks guys. It's funny.
Maybe I'll have to work in Photoshop and maybe do you with some Cobra Flaps there. Well, we got that missing Mikey one that I posted this last week because you were gone. Mike, what do you got? What?
I was in a bad place.
Hopefully that the humor brought it into you.
Let's talk about Image Book. I don't think Joey picked this one up. Shadecraft, #1.
Didn't have it at the store, so no, I did not.
That's on my pull list too.
This was actually pretty decent, I thought. Art ain't all there, but I could deal with it. This actually takes place in Joliet, Illinois, kind of around my old stomping grounds. It's where my friend who recently had brain surgery, he lives in Joliet. So I thought that was pretty cool. So basically, in a nutshell, this girl thinks her shadow is alive, and nobody believes her. We find out that her brother is in a coma from he was in a car accident, and the parents have to take care of him, and he was a big shot in high school, and now she kind of feels that she needs to fill his shoes. But we learn at the end, spoiler alert, that the shadow is actually her brother in some way. So look, I got goosebumps just so I don't know where it's going to go. I kind of dug it, so I'm going to stash it.
Nice.
So I don't know how I don't know where it's going to go. I really don't. So Shadecraft #1.
It's a mystery.
There it is. Okay.
I think they should go on a murder rampage. Just fuck people up. And that little crossover with Berserker. my LCS is swimming in them books. You need a copy of Berserker for whatever reason. You let Grandpa know.
I think every LCS is swimming in those because they just came out with like the foil covers last week. Again. There was another comic book store here. I don't get to very often because it's a little ways away, but I'll stop by there on my way through. He had 6 signed copies of Berserker by Keanu Reeves.
Really?
So I mean, how many did you have to buy to get a signed copy? Was it like 1,000?
1,000.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But he had 6 signed. I think it was 6 signed copies, graded at a 9.8. So
I'll be in the dollar bin. They're gonna have the Berserker dollar bin section.
yeah, no doubt.
Until it becomes a Netflix show, and then they'll go up in price slightly.
Yeah, they'll go up to $2. It's almost like Spawn #1. What does Spawn #1 run at now? Is it about $25, $30 book?
Probably for
Yeah, right around there.
Unless you have one of them rare ones, you know.
And same with X-Men #1 with the Jim Lee. The 4 different gatefold variant covers. Those are in the dollar bin all the time. It's just a high print run. I'm looking at this Alfred E. Newman Funko Pop here. They have the Chase too, but I don't know if you can find the Chase. If you got the Chase, let me know. Did you? No, you said you didn't read Shadecraft. That's on my pull list too, so that'll be getting that next week for sure.
Yeah, keep it on there, because
keep it.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to bring this up real quick. There's a couple of issues in my Mad magazine here with all the political climate and everything going on. Definitely Alfred E. Newman for president. Let's just get somebody like him there. That's just going to go and hopefully work for this country. I could get behind Alfred E. Newman as a candidate for sure. Newman Funko Pop from Seinfeld, huh, Huey? Nope. Which reminds me, I was going to send you a photoshopped copy of Mike in his underwear in those comics, but my printer's out, so I couldn't do it.
Just make sure it was a calendar.
90 books are going to start rising soon. They've already talked about. Was it Prophet? Like they're already talking about a 90s comic book movie coming out. I want to say it was Prophet or XO Man of War, maybe.
Well, they already had with Vin Diesel. That was a 90s book, right?
Bloodshot.
Yeah, Bloodshot. But they were talking about like one of those obscure ones. I don't know.
Yeah. I got a whole short box full of 90s stuff here.
Omega Red being in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think it'd be awesome too. I don't see it happening though.
I don't see it happening either. They're not really going a Russian route on this one. They're going Hydra. Unfortunately. Let's talk about Avengers Curse of Man-Thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got that Gleason cover too.
Yeah, beautiful cover. Man, I wish the story matched it. So for some obscure reason, we bring back this geriatric, horticulture-loving old ladies from the X-Men storyline that came and stole some flowers from Krakoa.
Those two. Okay, yeah.
Like 4 of them, yeah. Apparently, they made a Poison Ivy type character, and they blended science and magic together. And she's like crazy, stupid, powerful. 3 panels, destroys Man-Thing. It's done, Man-Thing, and her. She takes his essence or something. I don't know, his jizz, whatever it was. It's a magical fruit. Spreads it all over the world, and now there's these huge mushrooms growing everywhere, and it's spouting off spores, and people are catching on fire. This thing is so... I need to write a story for a comic book so I can get a paycheck. So I'm just going to overload it with a bunch of crap so I can hide the fact that I don't have a story. That's what this entire thing was. Like, it was just every panel, some crazy things happening, and nobody's really addressing it. And it was just annoying. And I'm kind of hoping that this takes some crazy twist, stupid turn, and like issue, I don't know, maybe in a couple of issues where Man-Thing just comes back. You can't kill Man-Thing, right? He's kind of like Swamp Thing. It's like the Green. Right, and there's even dropping hints that he's still around in some way, shape, or form. But, oh my God, this was just so hard to read. It was so bad. I don't understand the conflict here. I don't even know who these people are, why they're randomly getting thrown into an Avengers storyline. Like, it was supposed to be cool, and it was supposed to be about Man-Thing, and guess what? It wasn't. And it was just sad and depressing. So it's a blast. But I'll pick up issue 2. Hopefully, remember, we just blast a comic, not the entire story. So maybe, I don't know, something cool will happen in the next one.
Do you read that, Mike?
No, sir.
No.
Is
So
it on
that's
your pull
when
list?
Neverland. It was on my pull list. Yeah, Neverland Comics had a copy of that on the shelf, but I didn't want to spend $8. You know what I mean? As in buy that copy and then no. Buy that copy off Neverland and still pick up the other copy that I ordered already. So, I mean, like if it was a Batman book or something like that, I would have double dipped and bought both issues and wouldn't have had the problem spending the money. As in double dip doesn't spend the money at both stores and buying the same cover, buying the same comic.
I thought you were going back to the duplicate thing.
No. But yeah, we may think like you can chop Man-Thing clear down to the ground, but he'll keep coming back, right? That's what you're saying.
That's his whole thing. Yeah.
Yep. If he goes, okay.
Back.
Just keep go. You keep touching yourself and just keep spreading. Jesus Christ. Okay, quick round table. Swamp Thing or Man-Thing? Mike?
Swamp Thing.
Yeah. Joe?
My Man-Thing.
You're going to go with your Man-Thing? I have to go with Swamp Thing. I don't know. In the chat, too, what do you think? Man-Thing or Swamp Thing? Give us your...
I go with Man-Thing because you don't get depressing, long-ass dialogue about what he used to be. Like, he can't talk. So that's why I like him.
I prefer Swamp Thing over Man-Thing. The Swamp Thing or Man-Thing doesn't even talk to people, right? He has his thoughts in his head. At least the old Man-Thing didn't. I mean, maybe the new guy does.
Still can't talk. Nope.
Nope. And he's got that.
Doing your thing.
Even his little phallic thing hanging down from his nose. That's
Man-Thing.
That's that. That sways side to side when he goes walking through the swamp. Nothing.
What was was it Herculoids that had that thing where it had like the gooey mustache and it would go like it
off of
before your time, Dave. I really
no, but shut up. I thought you were talking about Futurama with that guy, that doctor.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, the doctor thing did it. Yeah, Zog or whatever. But Herculoids had a creature that, right? Or am I
don't know. I don't know. Legion said, dude, that dialogue what separates the characters and makes Swamp Thing better. Plus, Ram B is about to deliver the heat with the new series.
I do like that new thing, yeah. The whole India, the guy from India, yeah, that's going to be tight. I'm going to enjoy that.
I did pick up a few other books from the dollar bin. I've got some Defenders run stuff from, I think the earliest issue Defenders was like 110 and 111 or something. I got about 8 issues to fill that later run of my Defender stuff. Did pick up this Marvel Age number 38 with the first appearance of He-Man in Marvel stuff. So I picked up that for $1. That'll probably be in. If you come back next week, we'll do the giveaway for this week. That'll probably be in that box I'll be giving away. Picked up this one just because. No, Mike has it.
I already have it.
Mike has it. So I'll just throw that, and I have a copy of that. I picked up this just because it has Gru on there. Sergio Aragones, Gru. I love Gru. I picked up that. Picked up Joker. I haven't seen this issue. Showcase 94, Joker. Number 1, picked up that. Warlock and the Infinity Watch, picked up some of those. So I'm trying to get some of those, the run with Thanos.
That's actually not a bad read. I don't think that book gets enough credit. It actually reads really good.
I like it just because it has to do with the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos and that whole universe, you know. Tetra Comics 607, part of that. I didn't have that one either. Part of the Mudback. Was it like a 4-issue miniseries or something like that? Yep. We'll go on to Mike. Since you didn't read Man-Thing, let's talk about your other thing. I don't know what that other thing is, but
Do you want me to explain it to you?
oh, you can explain it if you want. But
I picked this book up just strictly for the cover. It's Catwoman 29.
I have that one too, Kevin.
So got that. So let's talk about Batman Catwoman number 4, Jim Lee cover. Still don't have a fucking clue what's going on in this book. I don't know why I even open it, because I'm buying them just for the Jim Lee covers. So that's a blast. What else did I read? Nuclear Family number 2. Is this on your pull list, Dave?
It is, yes, definitely. I like the first one a lot.
Second one, just expanding the story. Like, did they time travel? What's going on? Milwaukee, right? Is it Milwaukee they're in?
Sure.
Yeah, they're wondering why it's destroyed. It's really good. So that's a stash.
Milwaukee,
according to Alice Cooper.
I'm just doing a couple here. Cult of Dracula, number 1. I was lucky enough to grab this off the shelf.
Is that who is that? The artist on that? Is that
Lemire?
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was. God, he does a lot of Vampirella covers. Perello, yeah.
Cult of Dracula was garbage. So I'm blasting that too. So if that's on your pull list, take it off.
It was not.
You guys always agree on comic books.
I mean, I can keep going here.
No, we can let Joe jump in here. Batcat 4 was solid, according to Legion. Definitely the weakest issue so far. Just a lot of character setup, not plot progression.
Yeah.
Who's pissing you off? Legion?
Yeah. Hey, congratulations on hitting 600 subs.
He did. Congratulations, by the way. Yeah,
why is Legion pissing you off?
I don't know, because you don't want to come hang out with me and Joey.
Yeah. I think he's down in Sweet Georgia. You need to come on up to Virginia, and we can eat some crabs. We can give him some crabs.
No, well, Mike can be in charge of the crabs, I'm for sure.
Come on out, visit, bring the family.
Get crabs, have your wife wonder what the hell happened.
Come hang out in the evil lair. Go make a knife. Just saying.
Double S says, does Yui know how to party? Exclamation. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but
I do.
Well, there was this one time in Chicago.
No, the time in Chicago when I finally got up, hey, let's go out to do stuff. That's when Catrin got sick, or not. She was drunk. Let's just say that. Yeah. And so she stayed home, and so I ended up staying home too because I didn't want her to be there by herself. So I just hung back and.
You don't feel that young woman could take care of herself? Kind of sexist of you.
In his defense, no, not in the condition she was.
All right. Are we doing lightning round? I got lost.
No, we're not. Mike started lightning round way too soon. I'll tell you what, though. Let's do this.
Let's get Mike to do his meat potatoes.
Where is it?
Slap some gravy on that.
Ooh la la.
What do you got for meat and potatoes, Mike?
Ooh la la.
Hold on a minute. I'm just going to show a couple honorable mentions here. Speaking of Perillo, this is a Deja Thoris number 11.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly,
little too thin, a little too ribby.
Yeah. This is Robin Hood, Cult of the Spider, Grandpa.
I know you're not reading that.
No, I'm not. I picked it up just for the cover. And my pick for my meat and potatoes this week is if you go to Comics Elite, go shopping there. They have the Naughty and Nice comic books.
Are they behind the door with the beads? Do you go back there for those? Is that what it is? Like the special adult section, like an old video. You remember?
I don't think our comic book stores work the same way yours do out in Oregon.
No. He was saying it was the adult section. So I was asking
I do have a question. Is it Oregon or is it Oregon?
Oregon.
There are people that debate this.
No. Anybody who calls it Oregon are dumbasses.
I'm sorry.
It's like they call it.
Show us your meat and potatoes, man.
We're hijacking this segment.
So this is a Naughty and Nice, the Cosplay Gallery, issue number 2. This cover is done by Eric Basalude. Basaldu or whatever. Who cares? Because there's only 300 of these made, and this is Punchline with a nice ass.
Oh, there you go. Nice little window right down there, right?
Holy crap.
Yeah, throw some barbecue sauce on that. Throw some quarters on there. Bing, 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 all day.
Some quarters. I think we found our new T-shirt. Barbecue
and there
sauce
we go.
And quarters. Bing, bing, bing.
That is Mike's.
Ooh la la.
Thank you, Mike. Hopefully that book doesn't give you crabs.
Well, Punchline. She's been with some people.
Yeah. What about you, Joe? What do you got for your next book? And we'll do your segment here shortly.
Yeah, whatever. So Marvel came out with a lot of number ones this week, which solidifies my argument that when Marvel's running short on stories, it's time to do a number one. Because why not? So, hey, do you all remember that character that Marvel came out with not too long ago where they tried to put it under the Ghost Rider, but really they were introducing a new character called Death Rider? Right? No? You know why you don't remember that? Because it was a garbage story. It was stupid, and they brought Danny Ketch back for no other reason than to be something else. Well, we got to continue on with that. Again, another storyline where very little has to do with Ghost Rider. The interesting thing is here is they finally put an end to that bullshit storyline where Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, the one we all know and love, is no longer the king of hell anymore. Mephisto's back in hell because better to deal with the enemy you know than the one that's probably coming, meaning Lilith. Because that whole storyline was just confusing and it didn't make any sense to begin with. And I dropped a lot of that stuff a long time ago. So what they actually did is they used this, one, to still shoehorn this Death Rider character in, which is garbage. But now we have Ghost Rider back into regular continuity of being outside of the mystical realms now, and he's in the streets. He's from the streets, son. So now he's back in the streets. And now we have him rolling around. They called this a King in Black tie-in. Wasn't really there's a couple of panels of it. It wasn't really a tie-in.
All they do for these King in Black tie-ins is put a dragon in it, and that's it.
That's it. That's all they do.
Nope.
And then if they want to do something really cool, they put something like Fang Fang Fim in it, which was kind of cool that they did that in that one, but whatever. So a lot of these tie-ins lately for the whole King of Black thing, they're cleaning up or launching a storyline. It really doesn't have anything to do with it. But I'm kind of happy that we got done with that. Mephisto, I got to find you because I'm the king of hell. I got to track down all the demons. It was a stupid storyline. It was boring. It wasn't a Ghost Rider story. So they cleaned that up, and now we got a fresh Ghost Rider story coming. But unfortunately, we got his stepbrother, Danny Ketch, coming along. And, his last name's Rider, so it's kind of like them being real brothers, I guess. Maybe. Not really. Don't care. So this is a blast. but with high anticipation for the next storyline.
You just made me think of that movie Step Brother. Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Yes, we did. Do you want to go in the garage and do some karate?
Yep. So they're going to be in there building bunk beds. They're going to collapse. One of them get hurt. It's just going to be crazy. That's just going to be the next storyline.
If everybody comes to Virginia, we can go out to the evil lair, break some pineapples out in that bitch, and check. You know why I always beat up pineapples?
No, I don't know.
That's the fruit of superheroes.
Is it? Why is that? Why is that?
I just said it.
Oh, okay. Because you said it was. Nova is the only rider that counts. Good old Richard. That's what he said. That's what Legion says here. Let's jump into this. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Comic book philosophy with Cocaine.
What do you got?
Today, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, because let's be honest, y'all are men. Today, we're going to talk about a unique concept. We're going to talk about idealism. And what you need to know about idealism isn't a philosophy in itself. It is an instrument of philosophy. There's been plenty of people over the years that have debated over idealism. So what is idealism? Idealism's base root is nothing more than everything you experience only exists because you have a mind and your mind produces ideas. It's very key to remember that. Now, you can go very crazy directions with this, but the most mainstream thing that you need to know is that everybody's perspective of things is totally different, and some people don't want to hear or understand your particular perspective and vice versa in most cases. So why is this relevant? Well, this is where we're actually going to tie it into a comic book today. Imperial Lex, Superman and Imperial Lex, brought up a good allegory in here that is the basis of idealism. They brought up the cave, the story of the cave, the allegory of the cave from Plato. Basically, if you don't know the allegory, I'm going to break it down real quick for you, right? Bunch of dudes sit in a cave. Their back is against the opening of the cave, and they're looking forward, and all they see is the shadows of everything that the light produces. This ultimately becomes their reality. This is all they want to know. One gets brave and turns around and says, oh, look, there's a world out there. I'm going to go see what's out there. So he goes out there, experiences the world, comes back and says, hey, you guys aren't really seeing the world. The world is behind you. Your perspective needs to go this way. They ended up kicking the man out of the cave, and he ended up starving and dying. You would think you would have a happy ending, but then again, this was a allegory from Plato. And the whole thing when it comes to idealism is it's a cautious tale, if you will. Whether you're left or right on the subject, however advanced you want to make the mind and its existence and people's perspective towards things, what you have to do is always be careful, because 9 times out of 10 to change somebody's perspective only successfully happens in 2 ways. One, through reason, thought, evidence, and logic. The other one is to kill them.
Nice.
Well, Plato was a very harsh teacher. If you want to know more about idealism, I highly suggest you look up the following people. They all have different views on it, even though it typically stems from 2 categories. But what we consider the fathers of idealism is Plato, Hegel, Kant, Berkeley, and Kant, K-A-N-T, another excellent mustachio fella. These are kind of the forerunners of the whole, and there was even a time where Immanuel Kant and George Berkeley would debate this subject of idealism and how far to take it, and they were both in favor of idealism. So it's an extremely simple concept, but the truth is how far do we take it when you're dealing with perspective? So as an extra treat tonight, real quick, I wanted to share something with everybody. It's a great book. if you really want to understand philosophy as a whole. I've even used this book in my villains contest, which we have one coming up in 2021, and it's a stupid simple book, but it's actually called The Cartoon Introduction to Philosophy. This breaks down philosophy in a way, in a format that we're all very used to here with it being comic. It's one of my several books on philosophy, and honestly, that's probably the more entertaining one. You can definitely pick it up at Amazon, even eBay. It's even college reading in some cases. You can probably pick up a used copy of it, and you'll probably drop under $20 for it, and you'll have this thing done. It's about the size of a trade bag. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. But it definitely talks about idealism in there, the mind, and the ideas are the only thing that truly exists. Anything you experience is nothing more than a subjugated factor of those things. So that's pretty cool, because that's where you would base your reason and your logic from. So that can let me see if there's any questions real quick before we move on. So that's so true, especially in this day, in the age of open dialogue and discourse and becoming more and more rare. I would say so. I don't think open dialogue is a problem, because we have more sources of media now. Like, you don't have to go to a Times Square, but the problem with it is a lot of people are basing their logic and their reason off of a very narrow scope, meaning they're not outside of their own perspective. They're looking at the shadows in the cave versus what's behind them, which doesn't give them much experience. But yeah, I would agree there. Also, how does subjectivity factor into idealism? All right, so subjectivity is kind of in its own field. Subjectivity can coincide with idealism. It can happen. Nihilism can also fit into it. Remember, these are just tools that enhance something versus an absolute philosophical philosophy in itself, right? That this is just branches, like nihilism branches into other things. This is all just base root cause. We can break that down farther. That's not a problem. And I would actually, I'll go ahead and say this because you said it again today. I would be more than happy if there is some time that you want to get on either my channel or your channel or whatever there, Legion, and you just want to, we can look at a comic book, one that we feel that we can both agree on, and just talk about the aspects of the philosophical points of it, and just talk it out. I think that would be interesting. I don't know if anybody else would watch it, but I know I would have fun.
I'm going to be busy that day.
Okay, so I'm going to put a link in our description for that book on Amazon, that cartoon Introduction to Philosophy. So that'll be in our link. If you're interested in that book, you can go over there and check that out. And I think it's you could buy it for $15.59 with Prime shipping. So
Nice.
less than $20, you can get that book if you want to have a little more in-depth knowledge and philosophy, and maybe how it applies to your comics every day that you read. So
I'll be honest with you, if you read that book and you're a comic book reader, you are going to be able to do the exact same thing that I do, where you can grab a comic book and be like, this explains, like, that's all you really need. Like, you don't need the other 27 books that I have behind me on philosophy to do it. You can do it with that.
Nope, I would just go, ooh, big words. Let's see, will it post a link? It did. Let me post a link right there in our chat too. Cartoon Philosophy right there. But I'll definitely have it in our description as well, or in the comments down below. If you do get the book, let us know. Let us know what you think too. Let us know next episode or what like that. So, lightning round, I guess. Mike, you want to start with lightning round? What do you got
Lightning
for
round, absolutely.
Done. Max, Joe. Sorry.
Oh, I'm doing a lightning round?
No. Mike's going.
Oh, okay. I was reading the chat. I got lost for a second.
Man's World number 3. Still good. This is a little bit slower issue than the previous two. Still being chased by the locals. And the rescue party is on their way. If you haven't picked this up, I highly suggest going out, finding it. Issue 1, 2, and this is 3. Stash. Symbiote Spider-Man number 5, last issue. I like this up to this book. I really hate how it ends. We do get some pretty cool Watcher stuff in here. We learned that Captain Marvel, the Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel, can wield the ebony blade. What are you looking at me like that for?
Why can she wield it?
No, she can.
She can wield it, but she's not
Why can she wield it? She's
unworthy enough.
Right. She's not a douchebag, right? That's the whole thing about the thing now. She's a douchebag.
Okay, go ahead.
Never mind. It's a lightning round. I didn't mean to confuse you. I'm sorry. I was like,
you know what? Rocket actually grabs it in this too.
That would make sense to me. Like I would get that.
Interesting.
And we also find out that why in current day nobody remembers all this happening, because the Watcher erases all their memories.
I thought he was just supposed to watch, though, not interfere.
I don't fucking
know. The Watcher, Ute, is it Ute? Is that how you say his name? That the one that deals with us here on Earth? Ute? Like, he's the worst Watcher ever. That dude's involved in everything.
Witch blood #1. So there's a witch that's being hunted by witch hunters, who's being hunted by vampires, and this book just fucking sucks. Pretty cool Dazzler cover there, but don't buy this. And last but not least, probably my pick of the week, Spawn #316. I'm so glad I jumped on board this when I did, like issue 300. Who does the art? This artist might get my artist of the year when the stashies come around. Carlo Barberi. We also get a lot of focus on Plague Spawn, and pretty much this whole issue is about Plague Spawn, and he's just a badass. So,
yeah, when I was talking to the owner of Neverland Comics, he was asking what I'm reading right now. He said, "Well, Spawn's new this week." I said, "I don't read Spawn." He said, "You don't read Spawn?" He was like absolutely shocked that I don't pick up Spawn. I'm like, no, I haven't. No, I'm joking. I haven't read Spawn in a long time.
Yeah, it's great. You should.
Is that your lightning round?
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all you got. Joe, how about you?
I do have crossover number, whatever it is, but I haven't read it yet because really, I think I dropped out of the story. I mean,
I'll change your mind on that one. Here we go. As you all know, I mentioned it in my little segment. This is good. It's probably not your. It can come off campy, but I really like a lot of the references. This is an intelligent writer, and he's trying to, and I hate to say this, and I know somebody's going to get mad that I'm going to say this, but he wants to tell a story, but he's obviously dumbing it down because he may think he has to. I don't know why he would dummy it down, but the Russell something or other. He's got a co-writer too. Yeah. There's a lot of complicated things going on in the story, and they're not building on that. They're just keeping this campy story going, which is, I guess, is okay. But for the most part, I'll stash it because I got you. I know you're a smart guy. Let's see here. Department of Truth. And I like this. And they're doing this thing where they're kind of diving off the main storyline, and they're kind of giving us some backstory about the department and some of these creepy people we met in it. This one kind of dealt with the cat with the tinfoil hat and Men in Black. And again, we're dealing with a society that takes, if you believe in something hard enough, you can make it to reality, the woo-woo stuff. But the way they're doing it here, it's just super creepy and it's weird, and I like it. So
Mike's not even waiting for the show to get over before he's getting his Xbox cranked up.
Right? Like he's already killing Christians or whatever he does in the Viking game.
I haven't played that in a while. I'm playing Outriders right now.
So crossover. Hey, if you're an Image fan and you're just up to date on Image books, this is definitely the comic book for you. I'm a little out of date on it. Like I didn't read God Country. I didn't read a whole lot of Madman stuff. Mikey, actually, when I first met Mikey and we went and pillaged a comic book store that went out of business, and we were invited. Like he was like, "Oh, you need to read Madman," so I picked up a bunch then. And I kind of got caught up on who Madman is. So a lot of image based, and in the background and sub story of this, you can kind of catch other superheroes in it. But basically, the story's going to break down to we're getting to the climax of it, and I'm still confused about this sword from God Country. I'm like, why is this thing so relevant? Because it's every sword. So what? What does that mean? Like, what is it? Sad and depressed because it's done a lot of killing? Is it super proud? Is it like what? What is the MacGuffin here? Explain the MacGuffin to me, because I'm not getting it. But we did see the young girl's full powers in this, and I'd be honest with you, that was kind of cool. So I'll probably pick up some more issues of this. So I'm not blasting it, but I'm like, you kind of have to be on board with a lot of Image material to know who these characters are.
You need to go pick up God Country trade paperback.
No, yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I got 27 other books I got to read behind me. They're not there for show. I'm joking. Nuclear Family. Hey, this may not be the comic book for everybody out there. I don't even think it should be a comic book. This reads like a script, but I'm really enjoying this. I like the campiness of nuclear blast from 1950s. Automatically equates to something scientific, super smart has to happen, like, you guessed it, time travel. 10 years into the future, they get dropped off in their house and everything, and they're commies because this house just randomly appeared, and there's an underground society, and things are just getting weird in this. And I'll be honest with you, it reads like an old, I would say, Twilight Zone, but let's be honest, Twilight Zone was very well written. This reads more like an Outer Limits. Now, if you don't know what, and I'm not talking about the ones in color. I'm talking about the first ones, like where they had the mop that was an alien, kind of like the old campy ones. That's what this kind of reads like now, just better dialogue. And I'm absolutely eating it up for the cheese. I really am. Super smart. Love it.
Do you think that could be a vehicle for Brendan Fraser, Blast from the Past 2?
Hello, everyone,
Yeah.
and welcome to Comics from the
My
Future. Thank you so much for.
You can at least turn it down, bud.
Not even giving Joe the respect to finish his lightning round. What do you got? Is that it? Hey, your lightning round? That's it.
Mike said something about is there a Comic-Con coming to our area that you were talking about?
My last day of vacation, that's Saturday from 9 to 3.
Are you on vacation yet? When are you on vacation? We need to link up while you're on vacation.
Not till Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Is that when the wives are going to Florida?
Yes.
Okay. Our wives vacation together because we vacation together. We don't spend vacations with our wives. They don't want to go to Comic-Cons, and I don't want to go horseback riding. So,
yeah.
Anything else? Go ahead.
Is anybody playing Outriders?
No.
Why not?
Yeah.
I play Call of Duty.
Yeah, I get that a lot of women do, but you got to try Outriders.
One thing that I'm doing, I think I finally figured out who I'm going to do it for. So if you don't know, over in the Evil Era, I do a 30-day project, and I generally try to make something for somebody as long as it's not too dangerous. I think I'm going to make my 3-dimensional squared temporal displacement device. Basically, I'm going to do a magic trick. Make a special magic MacGuffin box. And it's a great magic trick to show children, but it's a great lesson in reason and logic. And that was something that was brought up in the chat. So I've decided that I'm going to make this particular device, and we're going to send it to Legion of Comics, because I know he's got kids. Because if you ever watch his show, like his kids are screaming in the background, "I want juice!" Like it's so awesome.
And then he knocks him across the room. Shut up, you! No, he don't.
It's a classic magic trick. It's super simple to do, but if you want to know the difference between reason and logic, once you learn how to do it right, it's amazing the logic that you'll see kids have. Because everybody makes a comic or a magic trick more complicated than it is. I think I'm going to make this. We're going to send it out. We're going to play it off of the dark arts, the magic thing. We'll do that theme with it. And I'll shoot that out to Legion of Comics. And I'll even do a how-to. I'll actually do a how-to video on this one. Because Amanda said I need to do, instead of just me moving really fast under cool music, I need to actually do a how-to. So we're going to try to do a how-to video so we can teach everybody how to make the trick, especially if you got kids. It's a great trick to teach kids. So, yep.
Good.
No, I did not say Call of Duty. Call of Duty, I've been playing free for all a lot lately, and it's been kind of fun. I put my mic back on, and it's just been a blast to get in there and just shoot some people. So, this sounds like the aliens from that Mel Gibson movie over the baby monitor right now. Do you hear that noise?
Yeah, that's super creepy.
Or it's either Mike mixes macaroni and cheese below the desk. I don't know what it is. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. With your blast with us as happy reading. And we'll catch you next time. Nope. We're ending the show with just like that right there.
Yeah, that's the end, bud. We can't. Yeah.
Macaroni and cheese under the desk.